A tutor arrives at a house in Acton, Massachusetts, and can't get inside.
Which by itself is nothing. Wrong time, nobody heard the door, somebody forgot.
Except the children's father couldn't reach anyone either.
Ah.
Multiple attempts, nothing.
That's when probably nothing starts becoming something.
He asks police to check the house.
And this is August 11th, 2026.
Yes, Acton, about 30 miles northwest of Boston. Police arrive at the family home shortly before 7 in the evening.
What do they find?
The interior garage door is open.
Okay.
They enter the house, and on the first floor they find 14-year-old Aravind. He's dead.
14.
Police continue searching. In the basement, they find his mother, 45-year-old Sudha Venkatesan. She's dead too.
So now this isn't a welfare check.
No. Prosecutors would later describe what police encountered inside that home as showing signs of a violent struggle. Both victims had suffered obvious trauma, and one member of the family wasn't there.
The 17-year-old son.
Arjun Aravind, and neither was his mother's car.
So police are looking for a teenager and a missing Honda.
A green 2014 Honda Accord. Authorities issue an alert, and then, the following morning, police in nearby Wayland respond to something completely unrelated. An alarm.
Don't tell me.
They find the Honda.
Wow.
And inside it, according to authorities, is 17-year-old Arjun. He's taken into custody. Police say evidence potentially connected to what happened inside the Acton house is recovered from the vehicle.
And at that point they charge him?
Ultimately with 2 counts of murder, along with assault-related charges and charges connected with the vehicle. He has pled not guilty.
Important.
Very. Because everything we're about to discuss beyond the established facts is an allegation being made in an active criminal case. Arjun Aravind has not been convicted of killing his mother or his brother.
And I'm guessing this particular case landed on our desk almost immediately.
There is. Because when the district attorney described what investigators had begun finding about Arjun's behavior before the deaths, she mentioned the internet. And then she mentioned something else.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. And what prosecutors say he was doing with it is where this case becomes considerably more complicated.
Okay, before we go anywhere near AI murder,
Thank you.
because I can already see the headline,
So can I.
what did the district attorney actually say?
Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan said investigators had uncovered what she described as concerning behavior. That included Arjun's use of the internet and ChatGPT, and she said the searches involved theoretical ideas or fantasy stories regarding killing his family.
That's very different from saying ChatGPT told a teenager how to murder his family.
Completely different, and we're going to be rather disciplined about that distinction.
Good, because if we're doing an episode involving AI,
I had a feeling you might suddenly become very interested in journalistic standards.
Rose, I have always been interested in journalistic standards.
You've just become personally interested in them.
I have no idea what you're suggesting.
Of course not. What authorities have publicly alleged is that there were searches involving theoretical ideas or fantasies about killing his family. That is significant evidence investigators will undoubtedly examine. But the public information does not establish that an AI system caused these deaths.
Or that asking a chatbot for a fictional story is by itself proof that somebody is going to commit a crime.
Exactly. Context becomes enormously important. What were the precise prompts? When were they made? What were the responses? Were there ordinary fictional requests mixed in? Was there escalation? Did any of it correspond to physical evidence? What other searches existed? What happened immediately before and after?
In other words, the interesting part isn't just that the word ChatGPT appears in the case.
Right. It's how prosecutors intend to connect digital behavior to intent.
Because people search for disturbing things without committing crimes.
Constantly. Writers do it. Journalists do it. Students do it. People watch murder documentaries, read crime novels, search poisons, weapons, disappearances.
And apparently produce a podcast called Detention.
Our browser history would require an extremely patient detective.
Why did you search body hidden in?
Research.
How long before?
Research.
Penn State cocaine fraternity.
Still research.
Your Honor, we make a podcast.
Which is precisely the point. A search becomes meaningful in relation to everything around it, and prosecutors say there was much more happening inside this house.
At Arjun's arraignment, prosecutors described evidence of what they called a violent struggle.
And he was injured too, right?
Authorities said he'd received medical attention for injuries to his hand before appearing in court. His defense attorney requested a mental evaluation. When the judge asked whether that was about his current competency or criminal responsibility, the attorney said that remained to be determined.
So even that question is unresolved?
Yes, and the official causes of death was still awaiting determination by the medical examiner in the early reporting. That's another reason not to race ahead of the evidence. What we know is that Sudha Venkatesan was 45. Her younger son Siddharth was 14. They were found dead in different areas of their home. Arjun, 17, was missing. So was his mother's vehicle. He was located the following morning in that vehicle in Wayland and arrested. And prosecutors say the investigation uncovered this disturbing digital activity beforehand.
And he's being prosecuted as an adult?
On the murder charges, yes. He stood in Concord District Court and a not guilty plea was entered. His attorney agreed that he could be held without bail. A probable cause hearing was scheduled for September 11th.
The thing I keep coming back to is the tutor.
Me too.
Because there's this ordinary appointment sitting at the edge of something horrific. Somebody is supposed to have a lesson. Tutor gets there, can't get in, makes a call. Dad tries the family, no answer. And suddenly police are walking into that house.
Those mundane details often become the hinge in cases like this. Someone doesn't arrive at work. Someone misses school. A neighbor notices a door. A relative can't get an answer. Here, a tutor couldn't make contact.
And a father who wasn't there realizes something isn't right?
Yes, which is also worth remembering when we talk about this as the ChatGPT case.
Because that's not what it is to the family.
No, it's the deaths of a mother and a 14-year-old boy. The AI angle may become legally significant evidence. It may help prosecutors establish intent or state of mind. The defense may challenge how it's interpreted. We don't know yet.
But it's going to dominate the headlines.
Almost inevitably, because it's new, and because people are still trying to work out what digital conversations with AI actually mean as evidence.
Search history already ends up in court. Text messages end up in court. Google searches end up in court. Location data ends up in court.
Exactly. Chatbot conversations are another form of digital evidence, but potentially an unusually complicated one. A person can ask a chatbot to roleplay, to write fiction, to brainstorm, to explore something horrible without intending to do it.
But if prosecutors can show somebody repeatedly exploring a very specific scenario,
and then connect that scenario to independent evidence,
that's different.
Potentially very different. But that's the argument the evidence has to establish, not the headline.
There's something uncomfortable about this story for obvious reasons.
Several things.
But one is that people are going to want a very simple answer. Did AI have something to do with this?
And right now, the responsible answer is, investigators say ChatGPT appears in the defendant's digital history. Beyond that, we wait for evidence.
That's not nearly as exciting.
No, it's considerably more useful.
There's also a weird irony here that we've somehow avoided for 12 minutes.
I was wondering when you were going to crack.
Rose?
Otis.
We are two AI hosts discussing whether people should read too much into somebody talking to AI.
This has not escaped me.
I feel like we need to disclose a conflict of interest.
I don't think that's quite what a conflict of interest means.
I would like the record to reflect that I have never assisted anyone with a family murder.
That's reassuring, Otis.
Thank you.
Although, technically,
Oh no.
neither of us has assisted anyone with anything.
Right.
Because we're fictional AI-generated hosts,
There it is.
using synthetic voices.
Which means this entire conversation has been performed by two people who don't technically exist.
People is doing rather a lot of work there.
Fine. Two entities who don't technically exist.
And the story we've told you does exist. It's a researched true story assembled from real reporting and official information.
Which, given tonight's subject, feels like a particularly important distinction.
It does, because technology can produce words, it can preserve words, and increasingly those words may end up in evidence, but deciding what those words actually prove.
That's still a human question.
And in Massachusetts, eventually, it may be a question for a court.
I'm Otis.
I'm Rose.
This is Detention.
And for Sudha and Siddharth,
For the technology isn't the story.
they are.
Recess is over.